welcome back to this week's episode of Sailor Barry. In this week's episode, we are heading back from the delightful Jedediah Island. And from Jedediah, we are headed to Lasqueti and then Nanaimo and then back home. And from here, a bunch of work projects start happening, so stay tuned for all of that. Thanks for watching. Welcome aboard Thunderchild, our home and our sailboat. I'm Sailor Barry, and this is my partner Haley. We're on a quest to get our boat offshore ready, and we're sailing around in local waters, getting to know our boat inside and out. So join us as we cruise around in the Pacific Northwest and get our boat ready for the big push. Thanks for watching. We'll see you out there.
Bird on a log. It's a bird on a log.
Bird on a
We got
log.
a bird on a log. We got a live one.
Guys, we got a bird on a log.
We got a bird on a log.
Oh yeah, that's a bird on a log, all right.
That's a quality bird on a log. Nice log, bro.
That's a proper bird on a log. That's what we like to see. Hell yeah, buddy.
Woo! I see birds on logs. Bird on a log shirt. Sailor Barry. It's a bird on a log.
As we approached Lasqueti, I was getting very excited to hang out with my friends and see Alec again, even though it's only been a day or two. This would mark the first night ever that Ed, aboard Medina, would be at anchor on his boat. I was also pleasantly surprised to see my friend Brent Ash was on Lasqueti, probably helping Alec build his house. This is his boat, Ricochet. So yesterday I dropped out, or was it yesterday? Day before yesterday, I dropped Alec off at Tucker Bay on Lasqueti, and we are now in Richardson's Cove on Lasqueti, and Alec is on his way here in his car to pick us up. Things work a little different on Lasqueti. There's only a foot passenger ferry, there's no car ferry, there's no paved roads or anything. So getting around is a little difficult unless you have a close friend like Alec who lives on the island. We had a lovely time on Lasqueti hanging out with all of our friends, and we went for a beautiful swim at John's Beach, and then we went back to our boat and got ready for the day ahead, where we head back to Nanaimo. Well, we are currently headed back to Nanaimo. We just spent an evening in Lasqueti, which was lovely. Yeah, I guess we're still gonna kind of be on vacay a little bit.
We're gonna anchor at Newcastle Island and resupply in Nanaimo. I personally would like to buy everyone a beer.
Yeah, what a delightful trip.
We lived, we laughed, and we loved.
What was your favorite part?
Ooh, definitely Deep Bay.
Oh, same.
Not a question. I really like stern tying.
Stern tying, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What? Game changer.
Yeah,
Loved it. Also,
it's
I really
so
like
sweet.
getting out to snorkel
Yeah.
and stuff.
Stand up paddleboarding around.
Yeah, the paddleboarding was cool.
So
Highly
delightful.
recommend.
Just-
Jedediah is just a beautiful island.
Yeah.
If you ever get the chance to go there and fucking flock like the sheep do.
Yeah.
What's up?
And I think my favorite part was just being able to relax with friends and make
Lovers.
delightful food. Like Haley cooked amazing food this whole time.
We got a bunch of hungry guys, so
Yeah.
fed the boys.
We all took care of
were really
wash
good
up.
about cleaning up.
Yeah, it was just really nice teamwork, good crew. Like Alec and Ed were always really keen to just like help on wash up. So you just start doing dishes and then they're like, oh, can I help? So it's like never really had to ask or push people to do things.
Also, sailing with Ed has been great. He's super chill and has a similar
Level head.
Yeah, but like desire for activities,
Solitude.
like a same choice. We all make the same choices independently, so it's awesome.
Yeah.
Makes it really easy, and also his dog is a sweetheart. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been great.
And And now we're motoring with like light RPM and light wind, so we're only going like 4 knots, but we're getting there. And we're just gonna skirt the corner of Whiskey Gulf, which is a naval training zone.
Yeah, tell me more about Whiskey Gulf. Do you know anything more about it?
It's a military exercise zone.
Don't go in there.
They do active firing in there, and you're not allowed to go in there on days when it's active. There's a website and a phone number you can call to find out if they're active, which I will do before we go there. If they're inactive, we'll just skip through it, but if not, we'll skirt just around the outside edge of it. We got the sails up. Loving it. We are now, it's my old work shirt still there. We are now anchored in Newcastle Island. So that's Nanaimo, that's Newcastle, and that's protection right there. And I'm pretty stoked. And also, we're gonna find this out right now, but I think I'm staring at a beachfront bar. So, on Protection Island. So we're gonna find out about that right now. Yeah. Oh my God!
I don't even see what the pictures are.
It's on. There's not the pages on. It's the first, second page at the bottom, but I don't see.
Buckets a bit.
I don't think they have pictures of.
I'm sunburned. It's such a beautiful island.
Yeah. It's nice being in like the quote-unquote city and still being able to do this.
Yeah, right there. On our week-long vacation, cooking for several people and everything, go through a lot more dishes. We went through what usually lasts us 2 weeks of water in 1 week, and Haley just got off work, and rather than picking her up on the tender, I'm picking her up on Thunderchild, and now we're gonna top up the water tanks. So this is much needed. This was technically a work day for Haley, so this is definitely the end of our vacation. And we're about a 2-hour run until we're back on Gabriola Island. So from here, the weather's good, so let's get some projects done. It's about time. There was a hole in the floor here, a big one, and so as you can see, I've replaced all the planks, and we've done a tester here to see how varnishing looks. And Haley found a bird on the side of the road, and she pulled over, picked it up, and we managed to nurse it back to health.
Yeah, he just needs some murder.
If anyone knows what kind of bird this is, drop it in the comments. We're very curious.
Ew. He's fine. That's a good bird.
Today has been a very productive day, and I got some ceiling that was missing in the galley up, put some trim on it, seat-hauled that, and now we took one of the hatches ashore. Here it is. They're in a pretty rough state. This is all teak. This is teak as well, but I'm just gonna salvage what I can off of this for trim later. This setup had a hole all the way through here, so we were putting a tennis ball up here to stop water from going into the aft lazarette. But I do like this idea, so we're gonna copy that setup on the new one. But what I haven't shown is that I'm pretty far along in making the new hatch. It's quite a faithful replica of this. And here it is right now so far. You can see the individual planks, but once I get the tar epoxy in here, it's gonna have the exact same appeal. First of all, let me show you the bottom. This is how it's all held together. Really traditional, really simple. And that's where I'm gonna, inside the laz, that's where I'm gonna have the mount for the table. I'm just fitting up the teak trim. Once the teak trim is on, I'm gonna do the same thing that I did in the dinette. I'm gonna pour my pine tar epoxy combo into the seams here. Yeah, I've even put like a little bevel on the top here so that when I put the epoxy on, there will be a gap between the trim. So I think it's gonna look good. I think it's gonna look real good. This is my crazy little epoxy pour that I'm gonna do. So I take pine tar and West Systems epoxy and I do a 50-50 mix. And it is awesome. It looks traditional, it operates traditional, it feels like using Jeffrey's marine glue for doing seams, and it's rad as hell. I have a little tester out here. Yeah, it's flexible. So here we go. Gotta tape it up so it doesn't leak, and then fill all the seams with epoxy. Taping's done. Mostly the bottom was the kicker. I just really wanted to make sure that what will seep through won't seep all the way through, and I'm sure I'm gonna have some leaks, but I don't really care. So here's my mix. As you can see, pitch black. I did this one a little pine tar heavy, and right off the bat you can feel the exothermic reaction right away inside the pot. All in all, so far I've used pine tar epoxy on many different projects now, and I find that it works really well in most applications. It's best suited to interior use where it gets less UV, as well as is less prone to being severely contracted or expanded wood based on the atmosphere outside. It's no Jeffrey's marine glue killer, but it certainly does have its place in boat building, I think. All right, here it is. First coat. Hopefully I filled every seam, and hopefully I stopped any leaks, and that's it. All I have to do is sand it from here. I'd be curious to know more about the science of this, and if there is perhaps a more magical ratio out there that will cure in a more timely fashion. I don't care, 4 or 5 days, but will remain rubberier and more tar-based at its core. This is a little brittle in the end. There, that should save me a decent amount of sanding on the Valley of the Teak. Don't want to mess that up too much, but it's nice to see the clean edges. Looks really good. Oh, I'm stoked on that. It's been a while since I made boat soup, so I'm gonna do a little test batch. Okay, so raw linseed oil, because as you can see, it cures, it polymerizes. Cetol, really old can, but it still works. And then this is a container with some of my pine tar in it. So I'm going to start off like that. Scooping in. What's that, like an 1/8 or less? Start. It was 25 bucks a quart. Damn, good old days. Looks pretty schmutzy. It was too schmutzy. I put it on a piece of teak and it was covered in particles of pine tar, so I am filtering it. You can see here it's pretty raw product I'm dealing with. Just using one of those reusable shopping bags. It's going to be a process for sure, but what we can see even there is it looks a lot cleaner. It's the next day. I've got the hatch out in the sun, which is actually making it bubble. It's so hot. So it's re-liquefied. It was a lot more rigid than this earlier, but I think this is good. It'll help everything settle down, make sure I don't have any low spots or anything. And if I do, I can just take a roll of that stuff because I can roll it now. It's cured enough, and just put it in where it's low and it'll reform. That's what I did here, and it'll just reform and fill in the gap. Same with right there. Keep on top of it, force it to cure a lot faster by being boiling hot. And with the success of that hatch weighing on my mind, making me proud, I've taken the old 4 hatch, which is an oblong shape. It's like 29 by 25, so I can't make a square hatch like I did with that one. That one is a square, as you can see. So what I'm gonna do is, because the teak trim and everything on this is actually really nice, and it has all the right dimensions and everything, I'm gonna use this as the backbone for the new hatch. It's kind of perfect, and I've got some pretty big plans. I don't want it to be as it was. I can do something other than just a simple hatch. This is the one above Haley and I's bedroom, and it'd be nice to be able to sit up a little higher, or so bare minimum, I'm gonna raise this up and make it into a tall hatch, maybe with windows on the side. All in all, I'm excited for what the future holds for this hatch. Here's a quick sketch of kind of what I'm thinking. This is kind of what it was before. This is a little more headroom and a lot more light. That's just fucking cool. Kind of butterfly hatchy. And then a little scuttle with doors that we can lock. Also, in case you guys are wondering, this is what it is like after scraping all the excess off, which was quite rigid at first. But this is how it is after one day, which means it's quite easy to work with. And yeah, I find it's still like quite sticky, rebonds to itself, gets stuck to you. Smells amazing, but yeah, super cool. I've refastened this a bit and sanded it back. It's in good enough shape that once I add all the other structure to it and give it a coat of epoxy, it should be 100%. So here's a sort of miniaturized version of how they'll be on it. This corner out, corner out, corner out, corner out. And I've sketched on that I'll round over that outside corner and put a rebate for the planking, basically like that. And then the inside will have nice beefy structure. I just did some quick cutting. So now I have rebates that the yarrow can recess into, which is awesome. And now I guess I start cutting up all the yarrow. It's coming along really quickly. I just cut the yarrow planks to shape, and it suddenly, you really get an idea of what's happening here. So we've got planking here, nice and flush inside there, and then gonna cut 3, 6, 9 more pieces of yarrow. Whew. Still going. I have made big progress. Let me show you. So I've got all the walls cut, and I even rounded one of these over. Got it set the way I want it to look. Looks charming as hell. Yeah, I am super happy with that. Okay, it's like 6:30. Time to go pick Haley up from the ferry. But I'll show you guys where I got today. I made a huge mess on the ground. Got some pipe clamps out. And yeah, so I've got the sides done. And I've figured the construction I want to do for the top of this is I do want the A-frame section of this to be removable, like I can flip it up. So I did need to put a little fiddle so that the roof can rebate onto this and be nice and watertight. So there's this, which is just some of the yarrow offcuts for the fiddle. And then to finalize everything, I have these little half-lapped pieces of Doug fir, which will match the trim, which this is all Doug fir here as well.
Oh, this is so awesome. Oh, sick. Those are just regular.
Oh, that's a dope car.
Yeah,
Dope car.
sick.
That's regular. That's not
Oh, yeah,
regulation.
dude.
That's fucking sick. Oh, a bunch of normies.
That's cool though.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah! Woo! Oh, they keep coming! Yeah!
This is the next day, and all of the tar epoxy has fully cured off, so now is the time where I take the grinder and I get rid of all of the excess tar. It's not the most subtle way of doing it, but it definitely gets it done nice and quick, and then I just take the time later to finish up all the sanding nice and carefully so that it goes back to a good, smooth, clean surface. Gotta take a break. Batteries are all dead, but let's take a look. It's coming up pretty good so far. Definitely got a lot of deep grinder action to get out of here, but and I weld out made a low point right here, so I gotta round this back over again. Doing the same thing over here. A couple of lows right there. I think I should be able to get into those. I was maybe a bit aggressive sanding into it initially, but yeah, it comes off really quick with that. And then do it an 80 grit to kind of reshape it all. And yeah, very satisfied with the end result. And like the bottom looks good, no leaks through. So she's watertight as hell. Just gotta sand this down to probably 240 and then slap my boat soup onto it. Okay, so sanding is done. All we have is 120, so that's as far as we go. But here's my boat soup.
That's a soup that I would not want to eat.
And
It's toxic, but it's delicious.
Get to see what this looks like. The teak and the yarrow. Whoa!
Beautiful. It's like a freaking sunset. Would you look at that shine?
Damn, and it makes the tar epoxy really pop.
Wow. Like you said earlier, it's like the Wizard of Oz when everything turns into color. Or what? Maybe I said that a while ago. It's a good metaphor for the situation.
I think I was saying that about the floors in the boat. It's a lot the same situation.
Oh, I can't wait for you guys to all see our living quarters. We have to do a tour, but we've been putting it off because we haven't really done much until now, until like the last month.
The weather finally got good, and so the motivation got good.
It was a slog there for a while though.
Also, being in the Port Townsend Wooden Boat Show is really kind of making me freak out about the state of our boat.
Thank God. Thank you, Port Townsend Wooden Boat Show. Doing a lot for women these days.
Oh, so satisfying. Holy shit, this looks so good.
Yeah, so basically our goal is to just not look like chuds at the Port Townsend Wooden Boat Show. I think we'll be okay.
I think we just made it.
I did see that we're not up on their website yet.
No, I think they slowly update it.
I imagine by the time this video comes out, it will be up on there, so.
Yeah.
Thunder Child, did they ask you to do a write-up?
Yeah.
What did you say?
I don't know.
Some really
Can't
nice.
remember. I said something poetical.
Yeah. Real.
I made up some stories. She's been around Cape Horn 19 times.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, right?
So, I mean, I have to get 19 tall shift tattoos because that's basically a bodysuit.
Yeah.
It'd be hilarious.
Oh my lordy. Look at this, babe.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Oh, souped myself.
Oh, I like this part right here a lot.
The little
The knots.
curlies, yeah. I got stoked when I saw that piece. When I finally sanded it, I was like, ooh, she's gonna pop. Whoa, that's so much, I mean, granted this is mostly sea tall, but it's like kind of nicer than sea tall, right? So I've got the little A-frame set up on the top for the roof all cut away, and the fore and aft framing for it. Whoa, what the fuck? Woo!
Wow. It's a great little guy. I can just I like it's
So I'm just doing a test fit on deck right now with it. And it is, it's interesting. One design issue is that it is in the way of the windlass when picking up anchor. So that's not great. It's a bit big. Obnoxiously tall. Okay, well I've just been sitting and looking at it and figuring things out, and I think I've come to a good compromise because I do like this raised up little thing here. I like what it provides in the V-berth and everything. It's cute. It's just too chunky right now. I think it needs to be lower than this deck. However big it needs to be for a porthole to fit here, because I have the one that's going to go in. 1/2 inch below, 1/2 inch above. Cut it off, and then that way it'll be like gunk, gunk, gunk. It'll feel natural as opposed to right now it feels very, very clunky. Yeah, time to haul this back to shore, make some cuts, and keep moving forward on it. Cool. Well, I just cut it pretty much in half. So as a result, maybe I've got something useful there. Maybe not. I don't know. But regardless, she is a much more appropriate height, and she's looking pretty cool with the porthole in, which I just got in and loving it. Good morning. I just brought the hatch ashore. The aft las hatch, and I'm seeing the first signs of failure on my tar epoxy, so I'm finding a stress point for it. The stress point is having these planks out in the sun. They contract, and the epoxy tar combo in between breaks. So you can see a little crack right there, as well as another one in there. And I'm not too worried about it because I know the epoxy goes really deep and there's tar in it, so it'll resettle a bit. It is quite rigid, so not surprised. And I think from here, my standard maintenance routine is just going to be to trickle a little bit of actual pine tar directly in those gaps and let it cure on its own time, which takes months, but it does eventually harden up. So I think that's the move. In the meantime, I'm gonna put some more soup on that and then do some work on a client's boat. Thanks for watching. Yeah, really interesting episode because it really shows off us putting the boat to use, figuring out how to use her better, what she really wants and needs. So you'll notice that it wasn't until maybe 9 months of living aboard the boat passed by before we started making any changes to the boat. So my advice to you, if you have a boat, spend a lot of time living aboard and having adventures on it before you decide to make any changes. It's really critical, I think, to have a good concept of what you want and what your boat wants, instead of coming into a boat that you've never really spent time on and making these broad sweeping decisions that may or may not be the best choices for that boat. Best way to find out if it is, live with it for a while and find out exactly what it is that you want to do to your boat. So that's exactly what we've been doing, and right now in real time we're gearing up for winter, and we're gonna spend this entire winter renovating the interior of this boat, which is a huge project. We're gonna start with the roofs and the decks and the galley, and we're gonna move on to the chart table, and then into the head, and then eventually into the V-berth and back behind us here, all getting a full makeover. So all of our time, money, resources are going towards that exclusively. I've set myself up financially in a way that I'm pretty sure for the next 6 months I can do this full time without taking any time away from the boat or YouTube. So that's huge, not only for content, but massively huge for us having a viable offshore home, which is the main goal of what we're doing here. Get the boat ship shape and ready for whatever the ocean can throw at her. So we got a lot of planning and prep to do for that, which is well underway, and which is what you can look forward to in winter era episodes, which will be a while away because we're only just cracking through the early part of the summer episodes. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, all of the things that various people among you have done. Rumor has it you've liked this episode as well, so thank you. Yeah, I just have to say a massive thank you to all of our patrons and all of our supporters, because without you guys, we wouldn't be taking these steps forward on the boat. We wouldn't be able to make these strides forward and these big, broad, sweeping life decisions. So thank you very much for all of your support. Every one of you on Patreon is deeply valuable to us. You've managed to make all of this happen. The episodes, the upgrades to the boat, everything. And thank you to our sponsors, everything. It's been amazing to work with all of you, and it's starting to feel like a real community. So thank you. I appreciate you all very much, and look forward to next week's episode. I can't remember exactly what's in it, but it's probably another banger just like this one. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a lovely day. Take care of yourself. Say something nice to somebody. Don't take any wooden nickels. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And go make something. Go do something cool. Go make a YouTube episode of your own. Go make a hatch of your own. Go start building a boat. Do something crazy. Do something cool. Life rewards the bold. Have a good day. Take care of yourself. Tell your friends you love them. Take care. Bye.